What's good? It's your boy Fanon. Man, I'm going to talk about this press conference, but the most interesting thing about the press conference between Anthony Joshua and Joseph Parker was the temper tantrum that Eddie Hearn threw after the end. Man, he called Deontay Wilder a joke and was sounded. This is the first time, man, I got to tell you that I've seen Eddie Hearn really seem angry at the prospect that Deontay Wilder, the rumors that Deontay Wilder would turn down an offer from Sky Sports to come over and call the fight between Joseph Parker and Anthony Joshua. Now, before I get into that, dude sounded hot, and that's when you know you got him. That's when you know, when you hear this dude sounding with that tone, Deontay Wilder, if he doesn't show up, is a right move because he's not doing what Eddie Hearn wants him to do. And you could hear it in his tone, man. He was hot. Before I do that, talk about that, though, for sure, I'm going to be covering this in a live stream later today. Please subscribe to the channel and get the bell icon, because if you hit the bell icon, that's the best way to know when the live streams are going to happen. And the best thing about the thing that I'm trying to do on this channel a lot is move a lot of conversations that we have for videos into live streams. And so you can have real-time conversations. And the best way to do that is to hit the bell icon and be notified of when they're going to happen. So with that said, let me cover this this mini temper tantrum, man. No, it was damn near a full-fledged temper tantrum. He was agitated because he said, this is Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn is, of course, the promoter for Anthony Joshua. And he started talking about how Deontay Wilder, how these other people are really serious about the fight, and how Deontay Wilder isn't serious about the fight, how he really doesn't want to fight Anthony Joshua. He just wants to use Anthony Joshua's name. You know that line. He just wants to use Anthony Joshua's name, you know, to build himself up, but he really doesn't want this fight with Anthony Joshua. Otherwise, he would be coming to Cardiff, Wales, and taking up Sky Sports on their offer to cover the fight. Now, a little bit of background here. Anthony Joshua had said beforehand that he didn't want Deontay Wilder entering the ring after the fight. And so Deontay Wilder was, Deontay Wilder, I don't even think I've heard anything about Deontay Wilder. I actually haven't said anything about it. But there's a lot of blowback on Anthony Joshua for that, because dude's acting like he's scary. Now, I said that he sounded like he was scared. A whole lot of other people say that he's acting like he was scared, because why wouldn't you if you're serious, if he beats Joseph Parker, then the only other title holder is Deontay Wilder. Why wouldn't you want Deontay Wilder in the ring after the fight? That's the only other title holder, right? So it comes to bear out that, yeah, he is scared. He's scared. This thing that he says he's scared of is losing. He doesn't want to lose his title. He understands, he wants to. He has a lot of people relying on him, that type of conversation. So whether or not he's scared of Deontay Wilder for real, scared to face him or not, I'm sure he is a little bit. Like, Deontay Wilder's got to have some butterflies in his stomach facing somebody else that is, that's a legitimate challenge. That's a normal thing in boxing. But when Eddie Hearn started going off, and seriously, now Eddie Hearn talks out of both sides of his neck, right? But he was talking out of his neck fast, like one side, the other side, one side, the other side. And he talked so quick that what he really wants was Dillian White. See, the reason that Eddie Hearn, this is my assessment, the reason Eddie Hearn really wants Deontay Wilder to go be in Cardiff, the reason Eddie Hearn really wants him there is because of Dillian White. It's not to do with Anthony Joshua. See, he's holding out this, and we've covered this on other conversations, that Eddie Hearn's plan for Anthony Joshua is for Anthony Joshua to ultimately unify all the belts. But he wants Anthony Joshua to fight Dillian White for the WBC belt. So he can have both heavyweight champions underneath his banner. He's been, other than the banner part, the dude has said that. I mean, that's not even a question about whether or not that's what he wants or not. That's what he wants. That's what he's pushing for. So in this conversation, when he's getting all flustered and mad, and I'm serious, I'm loving it, because this is usually he's really just, usually he's just a smart ass and, being, condescending and trying to be cute. This one, Eddie Hearn sounded upset at the rumor that Deontay Wilder would say, you know what? I'm not coming. If I can't look at Anthony Joshua in the eye and I can't come into the ring with Anthony Joshua, then I don't want to be there. Cover the fight for yourself. I have my WBC belt. Everybody, there's a whole bunch of pressure on you to make the fight with Anthony Joshua and myself, speaking as if I'm Deontay Wilder. And that's not going to go away. So I'm not going to do what you want me to do. If this is what Deontay Wilder decides to do, I'm not going to do what you want me to do, Eddie. I know what you want me to do. You want me to be there so that Dillian White can jump in my face and I can have some confrontation with Dillian White. And then you try to put me or Deontay Wilder on the spot where it looks like he's ducking Dillian White. Ducking Dillian White, who doesn't even deserve a shot at Deontay Wilder, in my opinion, when everybody wants to see Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder. So the fact that Deontay Wilder wouldn't do that, that's when you got somebody who's like, thinks they're a mastermind, thinks they're smarter than everybody. And it's like, oh, hold on. He's doing something that I didn't plan on him doing. Just saying, you know what? No, you can keep it. Just keep it. You don't think that I want the fight with Anthony Joshua? Fine. But you can't have it both ways, Eddie. You can't say I don't want the fight with Anthony Joshua. I'm not serious about the fight with Anthony Joshua, and then show up and then you're saying on the same breath that I don't want the fight with Dillian White. He's been making that argument that, hey, I'll fight if you fight Dillian White. We'll up the money. We'll up the money. We'll give you even more money. We'll pay you £5 million. I think he said 4. We'll pay you £5 million to fight Dillian White. Why in the world would that be worth that much money? Just think about that. Why would Eddie Hearn be willing to pay Deontay Wilder $5 million? If it's $5 million, if it's $6 million, why would he be willing to pay all that money for that fight? I thought nobody knew Deontay Wilder. I thought Deontay Wilder was a joke. That's what he called him too. He called Deontay Wilder a joke. He said, if you don't show up here and come in here and call this fight and stand here like I tell you to, you're a joke and you're not really serious about fighting Anthony Joshua. Yeah, he is. He said he is. And he can say that he's serious about fighting Anthony Joshua from the United States of America. Absolutely he can, man. He can say that he's serious about it all the way from America. And this is what I think Deontay. And I'm telling you, man, these cats like Blood Boxing, shout out to Blood Boxing, shout out to the other cats that said this. I think that this is the right thing to do. Do not go to Cardiff, Wales. Do not ask for an Anthony Joshua fight anymore. Stay right here in the United States, right by the water hole, and wait for them to try to trot their ass over to the United States of America for a fight. Make them come to you, Deontay Wilder. Make them come to you. You got the biggest. No, you're not making as much money as Anthony Joshua is in the UK. But everybody in the UK knows who Deontay Wilder is. There's no need for Deontay Wilder to show up on Sky Sports. They already know who he is. You've got Carl Froch making on Sky Sports, writing articles on Sky Sports saying that he doesn't understand why Anthony Joshua doesn't act like he wants to fight Deontay Wilder. And that's Carl Froch in the UK. There is such thing as YouTube, and we get to see the videos. The UK, even the UK fans that are on YouTube all know who Deontay Wilder is. Certain faction of them don't want to see the fight, but if they don't want to see the fight, let them carry the day. Let them carry the day. Don't have the fight. Whatever, man. Whatever. But eventually they'll come around. They have to. Because there's no money in the I'm not gonna say there's no money in the UK, but there's not big money in the UK. There's not that type of money in the UK. You got Lennox Lewis saying that. You got Carl Froch saying that. You got Ricky Hatton saying that. You got Lennox Lewis like, what in the hell doesn't he want to fight in the United States of America for? Because it's the big water hole, man. And I know some of you guys that leave these comments on my section don't like me to use analogies and metaphors, but I'm going to do it anyway. If you're hunting, if a lion is hunting and you want to get a gazelle, they don't run around just chasing just running out wherever looking for the gazelle, just trying to run a gazelle down. No, they wait till they come near the water hole. They wait till they come where that they're going to come eventually. And they're going to come. Deontay, if Anthony Joshua doesn't want to come, that's one thing. But for doggone sure, Eddie Hearn wants to come. Because Eddie Hearn's he's already signing American fighters. He's already opened an office. I believe the office is New York. He's already doing these little offhanded quotes to the media about, hey, man, it's not like Derek Chisora is a fighter. He's not somebody that has, that we have a plan for. He's not somebody we're trying to build a brand around. What brand is that, by the way? Just makes me, the brand Eddie Hearn is talking about when Eddie Hearn says that? He ain't talking about Anthony Joshua's brand. He's talking about Matchroom Boxing brand. He's talking about his brand. But for the hell of argument, we'll just act like for the second that he really cares half a shit about Anthony Joshua at the end of the day and say that he cares about Anthony Joshua's brand. Do you realize that a gate for Canelo Alvarez with Gennady Golovkin was 4 times the gate that they got in Wembley Stadium for Vladimir Klitschko? How many fights like Carlos Takam and Joseph Parker, and then who's he going to get in next with? Kubrat Pulev or Alexander Povetkin. How many of those fights do you think people are going to continue to buy, man? And Deontay Wilder does not have to come to him to tell him he wants to fight. Yeah, I love it. And Deontay Wilder can say, look, I wanted to fight. They're not calling me. But Eddie Hearn just keep making them stories up, man. He keeps making the stories up. I mean, if he really wanted to make a fight, if he was serious about it, he's just talking. And he's using the same talking lines and talking points that Anthony Joshua is. Literally saying the same thing that Anthony Joshua says. Like they write that shit up in an office somewhere. Oh, if he really wanted to fight, then there's no way that he wouldn't be here in front of all these people in the UK, to cover the fight with Sky Sports right there to get himself all this publicity. Why wouldn't he want to do that? He's just using Anthony Joshua's name. If he doesn't come and do that, that doesn't even make sense. Because if he was just using Anthony Joshua's name and really didn't want the fight, then he could come to the UK and get all that publicity and yap, and still not get a Joseph Parker fight. So even the logic that the dude used doesn't make sense. If for him to say, well, yeah, he's just yapping off at the mouth. He doesn't really want the Anthony Joshua fight. He's just making it up to get publicity, to build his own name. And if he was serious, what he would do is exactly what I just accused him of. To come over here in front of a large crowd of people, let people know that he wants to fight Anthony Joshua by yapping on the TV. Isn't that the same thing? Isn't that if Deontay Wilder went and did that, wouldn't he be doing the exact same thing that Eddie Hearn just said he was doing? By running his mouth? He's running his mouth before. So now Eddie Hearn says he's a joke if he doesn't come and run his mouth again. But the whole time, Anthony Joshua won't face off with him. How about this? Maybe he's dead serious because he said he wanted to come to look Anthony Joshua in the eye. No, Eddie, I don't want to talk to everybody in the UK on Sky Sports. They already know who I am. Remember that lie that Eddie Hearn used to talk about, how nobody knew who Deontay Wilder was? How, he had just, he doesn't have a name for himself, and you can, nobody knows him. Everybody knows him now. That's already squashed. So maybe Deontay Wilder would tell Eddie Hearn, hey, you know what? I want to come to Cardiff to talk to Anthony Joshua. That's why I would come. I think you're right. I don't want to yap my mouth asking for this fight and try to use Anthony Joshua's name. I'm just going to leave Anthony Joshua's name out of my mouth. And I'm going to sit over here by this water pond, by this, and when shit starts getting hot on you, and there's a drought out there in the UK because fans already know you're full of it, Eddie. They knew you were full of it before you signed Anthony Joshua. The rumor's been out, the name's been out on Eddie Hearn for a very long time that he's full of it. You got people leaving comments in my comment section from the UK saying, man, I love Anthony Joshua, but I don't understand why he's acting like this. See, I do believe that the UK fans are terrific boxing fans. Terrific boxing fans that know when they're being sold a bill of goods. They know when they're just being that they're like Jamal Charlo said about Gervonta Davis. Like when Eddie Hearn tries to stick his fingers up the nostrils of the UK fans and drag them along wherever he wants them to go. Everybody in boxing that pays half an inch worth of attention to boxing knows that the biggest fight in the heavyweight division is Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua. The only potential exception to that being Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, but that's in the UK. That's not going to be big. You can't sell Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury in the United States, in Vegas. Where you can get a $70 million gate. Wasn't that the gate for Conor McGregor? Somewhere around, or Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather Jr. Something way up there. Something way up there in the $50-60 million gates. Something like that. Something ridiculously high. Where you can have a United States pay-per-view, and the United States pay-per-view makes $90 million. See, that's what I say, that I think that what those guys said, 78 blood boxing, all them said is right. He doesn't need Deontay Wilder doesn't need Anthony Joshua. And he should display that and let it be known. I don't need you. Yeah, I guess I'll have to settle with making $2-3 million a fight. Yeah, okay. Instead of kissing your ass and trying to lead me down the primrose path, I'll just go on ahead and continue. I guess to get to 50-0. I'll fight the people that are put in front of me, and that's it. And hey, man, if you can force the WBC to buy your bullshit and throw off that half-assed Dillian White on them, all right, send Dillian White over to the United States of America, and we'll knock him out, and then knock Dillian White out. If needs be. Personally, I would love to see the WBC not allow that to happen. Don't allow hopefully the WBC doesn't kowtide to an obvious attempt by Eddie Hearn to pawn off a second level heavyweight on the American public. Well, I say the American public is right now, that's my mind. And it'll wind up being like a purse bid, and where he tries to get it over to the UK to bring Deontay Wilder over to the UK. I don't know what'll happen. But whatever the case is, Deontay Wilder doesn't need to do anything exceptional. Doesn't need to go to the UK to cover this fight so that and be a PR ploy for Eddie Hearn's desire to get Anthony Joshua out of that fight. Now, in conclusion, I do want to make a mention that I did a video yesterday where I said that Anthony Joshua had agreed was okay with Tyson Fury coming into the ring. Some people said, that wasn't after the ring, that was before the fight, to come in with Joseph Parker and not to be in the ring after the fight. And to that I say to you, what the fuck are you talking about? If he's going to be in the ring in the fight, before the fight, he's going to be in the ring after the fucking fight. He's in his entourage. The entourage can get in there. But even if he did, that's a distinction without a difference, because he still said he wouldn't look Deontay Wilder in the face. And then he still said that Deontay Wilder is turning down a fight that they've never offered. So, it is what it is, man. And, if you think I'm wrong about that, hey, cool. But I say that's a distinction without a difference. And with that, I'm out. Peace.